Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round 3, the finale of FTR RPRL, here for qualifying in Azerbaijan. Pretty decent track for me. We currently lead the championship by 4 points. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, please do go check them out. And coming to this race, a bit of a different format. Once again, there is no sound, however this time it's for a completely different reason. For some reason, I'm only guessing because I changed my sound settings. This sounds different. Why don't you have a quick listen to what the sound is like? Yeah. Frightened me too the first time I rewatched this footage back. I'm only guessing it's because I did a live stream and I left the microphone on in the Elgato, so it's picking up 2 sets of sounds and it created this sort of black hole of sound, really. Currently we sit in P6 on a 140.9. We got a slipstream from our teammate and new entrant to FTR, Casper, there in the Haas, so that was much appreciated from him. And now we're going to try and better our time. There are a lot of drivers in this lobby. I think it's nearly a full grid. There might be 18 people in. And disclosure, at this point, there is some questionable driving. It's very manic. It's going to be a long episode. It was a long evening, but I do hope you enjoy it. So, if you aren't familiar with how this league works, go and watch the first 2 episodes. I've explained it 2 times in there already, and I don't want to explain it for a 3rd time in what will be 40 minutes of me recording. Currently we are nearly 5 tenths up on our lap here, so it's going pretty well. Azerbaijan, another track I absolutely love. Got a lovely setup for it as well. As go through the final corner, we actually clatter the wall there and we lose a bit of our front wing. We actually lost some front wing on our first flying lap that we did. That's why it was pretty slow. As we go through the final car, we're just dropping time, or we would be dropping even more time going through this main straight here because we don't have slipstream from our teammate. So at probably the very best we'll get is P6. I don't expect to improve, and I'm not going to improve more time. Is we actually dip into the red there by 7 tenths, but we're actually 7 tenths faster. Yeah, I don't know either, but anyway, we're going to get into the race here. 5 red lights are on, and it's lights out and away we go. Very long hold there. We start P12 out of 17, and I am taking this so cautiously. I'm not diving in there because, yeah, we've already made contact with Rotcat and Apex up ahead. It's gonna be a demolition derby. There is so many people. Justin's car is ghosted because his connection is shocking. I'm terrified. I'm starting on the softs because I'm expecting a safety car to come out so we can jump straight onto mediums. Going through turn 3 here, we get up the inside of, Fight with Origins Pink, we get up the inside of him. Justin now breaks himself up heading out, so he classes into the back of Apex. Apex spins out. Yellow flags are aplenty, and as we go through turn 5 and 6 now, a safety car gets deployed. Surprised there wasn't a red flag, but yeah, that was a very interesting start. We actually make up like 6 positions, so I'm not going to start complaining. We're getting ready for the restart now, and in the words of great King Theoden himself, so it begins. Again, this is gonna, oh god, another 10 laps of this is gonna be manic. Honestly, we haven't actually lost anyone yet. Nobody's retired. So I guess we've got to count ourselves lucky. We're currently chasing down Websy here. I believe he is our main championship rival at this point, although Raz, Callum and Benotto are very close in the championship. I believe 10 points separates the top 2. The top 4 rather, as Websy breaks quite late. We've got a we've got a Force India Racing Point, whatever the bloody car it is gone off at turn 3. Turns to Kimi Räikkönen here with his commentary, not knowing what the Racing Point is called. We had to try to have a little look up the inside of Websy, but nothing does of it. I think FTR now has got massive amounts of damage. He's running every which way. Websy goes up the inside of him, going into turn 7. He's made the move done before the corner, actually. Otherwise, that could have been more calamities. As positions going everywhere, we've got another VSC. Yeah, it's just... I don't even know how to commentate over this. We've got some soft compound runners pitting in the pits. Yeah, so let's just leave that for now. I elect not to come in because I'm expecting there to be more crashes and probably another safety car, so we're going to stay up probably a couple more laps as we're on to lap 7 here. We are going to be pitting. These tyres were pretty worn at this point, attacking the pit lane really aggressively. We're going to be on to the mediums for the final few laps. So we should rejoin. We'll probably rejoin behind Casper. He's a ridiculously quick driver. You'll see me in one of the ranked videos is where I found him. He's insanely fast. He was in the tier 2 race that we did around Silverstone that I live streamed, and he was so quick. But as we cut onto lap 9 here, breezing through this race pretty quick. There's nothing much really happened after the first few laps, so we're up into P5 because of pit stops. We've got Origin's Penk ahead of us now. I think he's on very old soft compound tyres. I think he's had those on since like lap 4 or something, so they're going to be shot completely. He's squirming everywhere, and we breeze up the inside. I don't think he fights it all too much. I think he just sort of accepts his fate at this point. You know, I would, given the situation, but that was it. We come in P4. I'm weaving the wheel here, not because we came in P4 and I'm proud of it, because we survived. You know, it was ridiculous. But now we're going to move on to the Canadian Grand Prix. This episode also incorporates the 2 races from round 4, which is Japan and Austria. So this is going to be a pretty long episode, as we're going to a very, very overcast Canada. I think this is a British part of Canada, given how crap the weather is. As we get underway, starting 11th out of 15 drivers, and I can tell you this is also going to be absolutely, I mean, just look at this. The main point at this point is to survive and not have front wing damage. See Callum and Kyle getting super aggressive. We've got Rockcat that gets a poor exit. We've got Casper, who swapped into the Mercedes. Don't know why. I guess he thought that the races were done, even though we didn't say anything, so reading skills are at 100 there. As we try and go to the inside of him, we get squeezed a little bit as Rockcat goes around our outside. There's many things going on. There's too many to concentrate on. We've got one car that's dropped back. We've already got a track limits warning. You know, we've lost 3 positions, but we still have our front wing. So I'm not going to start complaining just yet. So we go onto the back straight now, as we get a little bit of snap of oversteer. I feel like we're running a pretty decent setup in terms of straight line speed, as we're closing up to the back of Websy a bit here. Maybe try for look up into the chicane. Not really my favourite overtaking opportunity, just because it's very awkward, and you know, even with AI, it's difficult getting through there alive, let alone with the amount of people in this lobby. There's me and Websy both try and run wide, get a good exit out of turn 2 here. Sort of turned into a bit of like a train at this point. As Origin's Penk actually does the Sebastian Vettel. We turned in a little bit early for that corner, so we picked up our second track limits one, so we're going to have to watch out in case we pick up a third warning. No, wait, that's actually our first track limits warning. Is it? No, it's our second track limits warning. Yes, because we picked up one here on lap 1, yes. As we've got Origin's Penk, who... No, that was Raz Callum that runs wide, and then Rockcat runs wide on the exit. We're going to go the inside of Rockcat here. A bit of a dive bomb. We're unable to make the move stick, as he just gets such a better, much more flowing run around the outside. We've got more yellow flags as Jesus Ems there, and Casper just basically stopped in the middle of the track. We're going to have a look at the inside of Rockcat once again. We're not going to go for it because I don't really want to do that. Binotto, our main championship rivals, very far up the front of the field. At this point, I don't know what the championship standings are. I think they're very clear. I think there's, at this point in the championship, there's only like maybe 5 to 10 points separating the top 4. I should have probably made note of the championship position after all the races, but I can tell you when the championship finishes, only 7 points separates the top 4, which is, well, from the top 4 from last episode, was me, Websy, Callum and Binotto. So we'll have to see which one of these 4 drivers actually comes out on top here. It's 5 points separating 4 drivers. One bad result in any of these races could mean could spell disaster. As we get the inside of Rockcat going to the hairpin, but he gets us back with DRS. At this point, I think I'm the lowest placed. Actually, no, Callum is the lowest placed driver. So Binotto is going to be picking up a lot of championship points here. So he's going to be gaining massively on us, which is not what we want at all. We want him to be gaining as few championship points as possible. So we're looking for a move on Rockcat here. So far, we don't have another penalty. So we would be effective P7 at this point, which would definitely help us out a lot in terms of the championship hunt. It put us above Websy too. It would give us points. I have to mention, all the 5-lap races have the standard 2000s points system. So 8th place is where the points start as we pick up our first penalty of the race. So now we've got to make a move on Rockcat to get a point out of this race. And we've only got a lap to do it. We still have a lot of ERS though, so that might come in handy. As Rockcat, I think, actually maybe has DRS on Websy, as we've gained. I don't think he does. We gained quite a bit of time over him as we're flying through this final chicane. I absolutely love the final chicane, given how treacherous it can be sometimes. Now heading down towards turn 1, we have to make the move at some point. We actually get a little bit of oversteer there going into the corner because we decided to brake on the grass because we're smart like that. But yeah, for the sake of our championship, we got to get at least 1 point. Raz Callum picks up a penalty, so I don't need to worry about him behind. It's not going to matter anyway. 9th and 12th at this point would hold the same amount of points. But now we're following Rockcat here. H2O Cloud up ahead has actually picked up another penalty, so that's going to promote us up actually into P8. He's got 4 seconds worth of penalties as it stands. There's like it's like a 3 or 4 way battle for P6 in this race, or P5 in this race. Websy goes to the inside of H2O Cloud. We've only got one more realistic overtaking opportunity. We're going to burn all of our ERS on these final 2 straights. Opening DRS, deploying Rich. Websy and H2O Cloud fight each other. Rockcat's lurking in the wings. I'm staying back. I'm turning ERS off. I'm waiting to get the better exit out of the final call. Rockcat goes in deep, and now it's going to be a drag away. So we get a good exit. We've got the DRS and overtake. Flying towards the line. We're gaining a Rockcat, but the line comes up just too quickly, and unfortunately we don't get him. But thanks to Websy and H2O Cloud getting another penalty, it actually promotes up into P7, so that gives us 2 crucial championship points. Binotto in 4th picks up 5 points. I can tell you from that race, Justin gets a 10-second post-race penalty for his incident in Azerbaijan. So that promotes us up into P6. But that also promotes Binotto up into P3. As we start the Japanese Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the championship. Still everything to play for. We started P7, we get a pretty decent exit. We're going through turn 1, we actually get pincered between H2O Cloud and Websy, and we've been spun to the back of the grid, and we're not picking up any points now, so this could severely harm our championship as we go through the end of the first sector. H2O Cloud and Evs have both taken each other out, I think. And going through onto lap 2, now going through the S section again. FTR AVFC 74 has been squeezed off or has lost the car, but that's a free position for us. And so too is Kyle. That collision at turn 1, I don't think we can lay the blame on anyone. Like, I think that me and Webbsy had the better start, as Rockcat leaves the session probably because he got took out of the hairpin, or taken out of the hairpin, sorry. But yeah, I can't really lay the blame on anyone. It is turn 1, lap 1. I think if we absolutely had to, I'd probably say H2O Cloud, because me and Webbsy were both up the inside, as 2 people spin off and that promotes up into P7, so at least we're getting points this race. And P7 is where we're going to finish, but you know, no inquiry was necessary into that incident. I didn't submit anything, so it's all good. FTR C-Night picks up his first victory of the FTR leagues. Raz Callum coming home a crucial P2, Webbsy P3 and Binotto P4. So the championship rivals here have just absolutely shattered any potential hopes I have at the championship. So it's going to be close. I currently don't know what the standings are. I know what the finishing standings are, but I don't know what the standings are after this. I'm just aiming to beat all of them as we start the final race of this FTR RPRL League, the final race until Season 2 gets underway. Here at Austria, we're starting P7. We get a pretty decent start. We go around the outside in turn 1, get a little bit squirmy. On exit, we remain P7. But here we hold a good position because it's reverse grid. Binotto, Webbsy, and Raz Callum are behind us as the Racing Point gets spun out there. I didn't quite catch who that was. And now we're in P5. So at this point, I think I will win the championship as Casper just dives in there like a madman and takes himself out. He's gone on to blame. And then this is a crucial point in the race here. Ems tries to go to the inside of H2O Cloud. He spins, the car doesn't ghost, and we get front wing damage. That's my bad. As Raz Callum goes up the inside of us, so now we've got a championship rival ahead of us. We've got Binotto right behind us and Webbsy too. But yeah, that was my bad. I should have probably braked, but then again, I couldn't exactly go left because I'd take someone out. But, you know, at the end of the day, I was expecting the car to ghost, and it's my responsibility to avoid that, but I didn't want to cause a further collision. Anyway, we're currently ahead of our main championship rival, which is Webbsy. I believe he's probably the closest to us. I'm sure someone will work out the standings in between each race. The points difference is that I think it's 1 point difference from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Yeah, well 3rd as well actually. From 3rd to 8th it's 6 through 1. So it could come down to who wins the championship by 1 point here. It could come down to who has the fastest lap. But fastest lap won't be a possibility for us with this front wing damage. We've managed to gap Justin behind us by a little bit, but then again he's going to have DRS come the next lap, so he's just going to be all over the back of us. We're trying our very best to roll with the damage. I'm never going to pit. Pitting is just the stupidest idea you could do at a 5-lap race, any 5-lap race really. There's just not enough time to make up any time lost unless other people pit, or like it won't be a safety car, but pitting in 5-lappers isn't a good idea. Going to turn 2 now, turn 3 rather, we actually lose the back end on exit there, and Justin goes right around the outside, so we've lost another championship point there, and this is going to be crucial championship points. So this point in time, good joke there, point in time, very funny, give myself a pat on the back for that one. Webbsy is now only half a second behind us, and we have to try and keep him back at all costs if we have any hope of winning this race. Binotto and Callum are 4th and 5th, so they're going to be gaining 2 or 3 points over us in this race. As Webbsy actually dives up the inside going to the final 2 corners, we let him go, he runs out wide, but we're actually going to stick behind him because we're going to get DRS. The front wing damage isn't too bad through the first corner, so we'll be able to stick with him. We still have quite a lot of ERS to play with, so hopefully we'll try and get him back going to turn 3. So going to turn 1, utilising all the track space, going to third to get the extra rotation we need with this poor with this wing damage, and now we're going to throw up into overtaking open the DRS. We're closing massively. The top end difference is absolutely insane with overtaking engaged, and we dive up the inside and we managed to get him back. Pretty aggressive move here, but now we get DRS. We've done a Max Verstappen on Charles Leclerc. We're going to use some overtake to defend for him, so that puts us it keeps us safe for another lap. If he'd have kept that position, he would have just walked away through this middle sector. So now we've got to try and hold him up as much as possible. Going through turn 5 here, understeering everywhere. Turn 6 and then turn 7 after this are absolutely just dreadful to try and navigate with any form of front wing damage that Webbs is looking. He has a look to the inside, he has a look to the outside. We plant a car in the middle, we cover off relatively well, we run wide on the exit there. Justin picks up a 2-second penalty. That's not going to affect us all too much unless he loses a second to us on this lap. As now Webbs is going to be eyeing us up going into turn 3. His best overtaking opportunity there is. We get a pretty decent exit. We're going to burn all of our ERS, all of our remaining fuel to keep him behind here. And it looks like he doesn't have much ERS to play with because he didn't close up to us that much, or maybe he's just saving it for going into turn 4. We go through turn 3, a pretty decent run. We get a nice exit, and we're going to burn the rest of our ERS. And we're actually going to hold the position here. It looks like he has very little ERS to play with, as he tries a massive lunge down the outside, but that doesn't really work out, and he loses quite a bit of time because of it. But he's going to make all that back up in the middle sector because of the lack of front wing damage he has. Currently going through the latter half of the lap now. We've only got one more set to navigate, 3 more corners. He's looking around the outside of turn 6, at the inside of turn 7. We're going to keep the car right to the inside, burn every single % of ERS we have. We're going to slowly move back over to the left. We're actually going deep here. Websy goes up our inside, going into the final corner. He holds the inside. We're going to try and get a good exit around. We use all of the track space and more. We run out of ERS going to the line. It's a drag race, and unfortunately Websy gets it by 3/100ths of a second. What a finish. That was absolutely incredible. Kyle gets the win over H2O Cloud. Callum in 3rd, Binotto in 5th, Webbs in 7th. But luckily, our stellar start to the season and just our general consistency of getting us points gets us the championship by 2 points. I was far too close. I mean, just look at the entire table, really. You know, top 4 separated by 7 points. Sort of Kyle languishing in his own, really, in 48, and then you've got everything from Rotcat down to Origins Pank, or to Evs, really, are all separated by 4 points, 5 points. But yeah, fantastic league. I love this idea. Very close racing, very closely fought championship. I'm happy to win a championship, even though it's not the main one. And if you did enjoy this video and you do like this idea, please do let me know in the comments below. I hope this idea will be continuing for weekdays inside FTR. If you want to get involved, obviously the Discord is in the description. Follow the steps I've put there, and we will get you in. And if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for some more F1 content very soon.